Hello, hello. Just getting set up here. You should already be set up. Believe you me, if we were already set up, we would be already. Excellent. Well, obviously, today is all about just sitting back and soaking in the Dharma, in the Zen of what is that of, in essence, Shyzalosophy, which inherently has to inevitably be spun off or describing the likes of which is necessitated by pickled punk philosophy, right? And you might be saying to yourself, well, that makes no sense. But when you start perusing literary works and endeavors that we have undertaken, then one can start to kind of see and realize it, amongst themselves, that it is necessitated because there's a reasoning behind it, obviously. Now, the reasoning might not be as descriptive as one may want it to be. It may not be as, enlightening as one may expect it to be. But the fact that it exists is necessitated, all right? And then to go upon it and try and describe the reasoning why, on occasion you just need to, throw out there the additionality, okay? The reinforcement of, the reasoning why, okay, to maybe make it make a little more sense amongst that which it would make the most, okay? So we posit ourselves, as we have thrown out there, it's available, pickled punk philosophy, right? Now, obviously, anyone and everyone philosophizes, okay? Everyone is their own philosopher. Everyone adheres to and follows their own strict, guidelines amongst how they feel like acting or interacting with that of their being and those around them, their being as well, okay? And the little collisions that
you've got mail
entertain of and stuff like that. So, with that being the case, there's components and aspects that, just inherently resonate with those that they make the most sense with. All right. Now, this isn't something that we usually often do, but we're going to go get a visual aid for you real quick. Not something that we like to do, obviously, but alas, lo and behold, it's necessity this time. So, hang out or don't. You can leave. Go do whatever. Go to the Kickstarter that's either presumably about to succeed or fail. There's 12 hours left, and we're just at like 50%. Okay? We're trying to peddle our wares. Custom-made 3D printed button with a book that has been written, okay? But you don't want those books, go to Amazon. Either way, we got to go contend with something. Lo and behold, life presents it. So focus on that of which you must. We'll be back in 30 seconds to a minute. Or not. We'll see. Excellent. Oh, all right. Excellent. Forgot to bring our horse. What the hell? Don't leave circles while we're gone. Oh, this show's better when we're not here. We forgot. Apologies. We had to get something that helps us when we're trying to keep a little focused, a little centered, right? You might be saying, do that on your own time. No. Our time is your time now, right? Yes, we see highs and hello, and the big JC in the house. The big JC. We had to go get what keeps us ourselves inherently centered and focused once we are trying to achieve that of our Dharma Zen, okay? Now, you might be saying, how can we remain so calm, how cool, how collected when that of our Kickstarter is about to fail? Okay? And you might be saying, what? Fail? nuts. That's okay, because every failure inherently has some sort of medium of success to it. Okay, now you might be saying, whatever, dude. But no, let's lay it out. Okay, the Kickstarter itself, whilst, there's still time for it to, be pulled off. The miracle of miracles to happen, right? Another 6 backers, to go in there and kind of be like, all right, I'll shut this guy up, right? Okay, fair enough. But if it doesn't, the work is done, okay? Our philosophy is do, all right? Whether it succeeds or whether it fails, it's do. We're done with those that stand in the way as obstacles, okay? So when we go to try and disseminate some advanced thought that is derived from those who have long since departed from this world, okay? Ancient pre-Socrates, okay? Hellenistic, old, ancient philosophers, okay? They would talk in, and derive, there probably were, we hypothesize at the time, uses of lectin that were just vernacularly included in dissemination of information, okay? But either lost through time and or unaccounted for, okay, in the works, that ceased to be. Okay, so we had to monograph it to continue cosmological philosophy. Now, obviously, that's not everyone's bag, okay? We do it for funsies, and if we wanted to do it professionally, we'd have to spend $250,000 and haul ass across the country to go chase a piece of paper from one academic university way out in California, okay? That sells a piece of paper that says you are qualified in cosmological philosophy. Now, obviously, we're not going to do that, because that is an obstacle and a hurdle that inherently is in the way that we choose to just step around, okay? We're not going to spend $250,000 to go do that of which we can do on our own, okay? It's a dead art and a dead science that was inherently stopped being practiced in the 1960s, 1970s, okay? Now, obviously, people like us and people like the one smaller school and institution, accredited in academia, out in Cali that offers doctorates in cosmological philosophy, you can, sure, jump through those hoops and hurdles. We're not going to do it. Okay? We wrote a book. Well, we wrote a lot of books. Okay? None of them are good. That's beside the point. We wrote it because they said no. They said we can't do it our way. They said jump through the hurdles, pay for the accreditations, and pay for the publishing. And we refused to. We will not. So we did, and it comes complete with its flaws. Right? But the point is that the work is done. So that inherently in its own self is a massive success, whether it maintains the degree, all right, and trajectory that we would like that to take upon itself. Obviously, we don't want the work to fail. We don't want the Kickstarter to fail, but because of the uphill battle that we inherently know that we take upon, which we, ride on, okay, and we go with and all of that, with that being the case, and us knowing, all right, that it's a little harder in nature for the path that we, hurdle ourselves on, okay, trying to roll uphill. Not a good look for us, believe you me. We're not that good at it. But we do it slowly and surely. The work is done. Now we just got to peddle the wares. Therefore, we can be at peace and at Dharma Zen with ourselves and our philosophy, okay? The Kickstarter can fail, but lectin is now monographed, okay? Whether you want to argue it or not, now there's at least a starting point for that to be done. Now, we believe that we have done a fairly decent job, okay? We even had to alter one of the lecta, right, to accommodate for some additional academic stuff in there. Joey attempted to start his own philosophy under his name, Nut Socrates. Well, if there's one thing that I would definitely not do, it's any component or aspect of that which Joey has a hand in at all. If it's from Joey, it's a no-y. Thank you, JC. So as we sit back and enjoy our Zen, right, we still maintain our pickled punk philosophy of not caring if the Kickstarter itself fails, right? Because we know that which we take upon is not orthodox in how it is done, right? We accept that, and we know that. We'll drink to that. We make things harder on ourselves, and we understand this, okay? We've done it our whole lives. Not studying for tests, not being prepared for things, not this, that, the other, okay? We've gotten very good at not doing that good at different stuff. The foundation was just talk about all of the components of the man gear. Well, believe you me, JC, that was one quick way to either get a lot of followers to the philosophy and or not. You never know which direction it's going to go. But what we do know, the direction that, we will maintain and continue to go upon, is that of which producing works that can then be disseminated as they will. Okay? Not every movie's for everyone, not every TV show's for everyone, not every band creates an album for everyone. But, ironically, the same thing applies to books. That's why we try and spread it out and do all sorts of stuff for those individuals that seek. Okay? Now, everyone who seeks doesn't necessarily always find. That's why we got to point them in the right direction. Mainly to Kickstarter for the last 10 to 12 hours that it's on to get your custom 3D printed button and signed copy of the monographing of Lectin Advanced Meta Philosophy, complete with, there's a couple typos. Our bad. We'll fix it in the update. How are you going to update that? No, don't worry about it. You got to find the typos. Like a game. Audiobooks available. Not as of yet, but that is in the works, and there, believe it or not, is a planned audiobook in the works as well. Thank you for the question. There's no audiobook available as of yet, but it is planned and is in the works. It is available on Kindle Unlimited currently. It is available on Amazon. Okay, you can go to Amazon.com, search Shyzabox books. We got 10 or 11 books up there, okay? They're all available. Buy them all. Well, they don't really like, hold on, Amazon don't like this book, Lines of Change, a different book than this one, believe it or not. They don't like this one. It's not for everyone. It's a little fire and brimstone. But they're okay with all the other ones, okay? Then there's some that are formatting, or we'll tweak up some. Not really our thing. We'll take the blame. We don't think it's our fault, but we'll take the blame. We try and offer something for everyone. And, that's just the, component and aspect of what you're left with in your, life. So, as we had escaped before to get our centering rock, which we just kind of look at, kind of play with and whatnot, it really allows us to lose ourselves in that which we do, right? And sometimes you just have to lose yourself to find yourself. And sometimes losing is a part of life. That's why we accept the fact that inherently the Kickstarter, very well could fail. But we will come back, and we will come back, and we will come back again and again. So get rid of us now. That money's as good as ours sometime. The work's been done. Like we said, now we're no fools. We know millions of books come out every year. We know every book sells approximately 250 copies. Okay? That's why we're trying to sell 10. We've sold like 4. Got to sell 6 more. I'm guessing we'll sell 10. We'll sell 10 eventually. Maybe not this Kickstarter go round, okay? But eventually we're going to sell 10 damn books. It's almost like guaranteed. Whether it's pity, whether people feel bad for us and take pity, it doesn't matter. Whether people are eventually like, man, I do want one of those custom 3D printed shite buttons. Okay? That's probably it, mostly. That's obviously why we bundled it in there. Okay? We're not fools. We know people don't want the book. Okay? The book is reading. The book is Advanced Meta Philosophy. A signed copy, obviously, on Kickstarter. Not on Amazon. Those copies aren't signed. Unless someone at the printing press signs it, if you get the printed copy. Or if you get a digital copy and it's signed, someone wrote on your tablet or phone. But that's beside the point. If it is signed and it comes from Amazon, it's not authentic. That's why you got to go get the expensive one at Kickstarter that comes with the custom 3D printed button, obviously. But that's not important. What is important is the pickled punk philosophy, right? Whether the Kickstarter fails, who cares? We don't care. We do because we want it to be a success, but we'll post it again and again and again. Doesn't matter. Okay? Pickled Punk Philosophy describes why. That is a book. We don't got a physical copy right here, right now. We'll get one. Here, look at some of these other books that we wrote and pretend it's Pickled Punk Philosophy with that, cool little pickle guy with the red mohawk. Okay, he's on there. No, he's not. Where is he? It doesn't matter. Pretend he's there. So he's on one of these books and stuff or whatever. Pickled Punk Philosophy describes why it doesn't matter if the Kickstarter succeeds or fails. Okay? The work is done. Okay? We make it harder upon ourselves to do that of which we do. Not the first time in our lives that we've undertaken that or done that. Okay? So that's just how it goes. So as we sit back in the last, 10 to 12 hours of the campaign, and we think to ourselves, will it be an epic failure or an epic success? Will the internet scoff at us? Will they feel bad and take pity on us? Will it be one of those times where, the stream, someone floods in and they have their hundreds of ones of subscribers. Okay? They're like, oh, look at this guy, feel bad for him. Nah. You never know. The internet is a crazy place. But we're not opposed to failure. We have endured and had to contend with failure, that of which our entire life. Okay? We never won every soccer game. We never won every football game. We never passed every test. Okay? Ironically, we never passed a lot of tests. Okay? And there are a lot of tests that probably we should have. Both physically and metaphysically. But anyhow, that's beside the point. What is part of the point is that Pickled Punk Philosophy, which, like we said, we don't got a copy of it here, but you can get it on Amazon if you want to, or Kindle Unlimited, whatever. You can get any of our books that way. Okay? You don't even have to buy them that way. Okay? But if you want the custom 3D printed button and a signed copy of the Advanced Meta Philosophy of, a monographing of Lectin, okay, then you got to go to Kickstarter for that. And, like we said, the work is done. Whether it goes this time or next time, we know that we got at least a few folks that, are interested in a copy. They might have to wait a little longer. Maybe we just drop down the amount. Maybe instead of trying to sell 25 copies, we just sell the 5 copies, okay? Because we know we're guaranteed in the entire lifetime of the book to sell potentially 250. Now it's our book, so 150, word of it, 75. We're going to sell 10 copies, okay? Eventually. So maybe we just sell them 1 or 2 at a time. And that's fine. Because the Pickled Punk Philosophy, okay, that you can check out if you want to. Or at least the first iteration of it. Because, continuation. Okay, if you want the reasoning behind Shyzalosophy, there you go. Old school punk rock mentality, we don't care. That academic journals wanted $5,000 or $6,000 to publish small articles in their academic journal. No. We don't care that Wikipedia didn't understand terms, okay, because they're advanced. Not everyone's going to get it. Not everyone's going to understand it. Doesn't matter. So no, we're not going to wait and play these little petty games. We're done. Okay? We'll jump the hurdles. We'll be tripped up by the hurdles. We'll scrape our knees. We'll break our bones. We'll endure the pain of which we endure, the failures of which we endure the failures of, and hopefully the successes of which we may perhaps come across. Okay? The point is doing. The point is circumventing and sidestepping the apparatuses that are in place that say we cannot, because we refuse to be told time and time again, you must adhere to these doctrines, you must adhere to these belief systems, you must do this, that, the other. Because believe you me, from everything that we have been seeing, from all of the components of academic unravelings that have happened in the last decades that should have been happening in the last century, if we're being honest. You have stuff that was discovered in the 1940s, 1950s that really isn't making light or headway until, as of, the last 10, 20 years. All right? There are components and aspects that just need to be revamped and recentered as part of civilization's initial start, right? There is something that is wrong with the timeline that has been presented, okay? And it must be adjusted and contended with. So, that's our thoughts on it, and that's why we refuse to adhere to and maintain these archaic standards of operations, okay? Now, some of them are very good, okay? We're not saying out with the old, in with the crap. Obviously, you adhere to the standards where they are of most relevance. You adhere to the standards of where they pertain, that in which they pertain the most. You don't need a bunch of money thrown into areas of study that don't necessitate it, okay? You don't need degrees and accreditation in areas of study that you don't need it in. But as a whole, these things are offered, these things are sold, and there's no value in them aside from what value is stated is in them. Just like with money and finances, that of which the construct of is the construct of, okay? The piece of paper is valuable because the construct of its value is in it. The piece of money is valuable because the construct of what it is worth is in it. Okay? There are elements of it that are needed, and there are elements of it that metaphysically are valuable in the exchange with which they provide thereof. But you cannot just strictly blanketedly accept universally every single component of what is laid out by these institutions that give you everything that they're trying to peddle themselves. All right? Some of the degrees are useless. Some of them are worthless. Okay? You don't need to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars, move across country, okay, to ascertain that of which you can get from reading a couple books or studying under one or two other individuals that may know something a little more than you. Okay? There are components and elements and degrees that line up and make it very viable, okay, to the successful adherence thereof. So, anyhow, that's our thoughts on it. We just wanted to take the time right now, have a little swig of our go juice as we round out our day, things of that nature. So we won't be kicking it too much longer. By all means, if you want to get out of here now and beat us out, now is the time. Because we won't be around for that of which much longer. We got other stuff that we wish to do. We don't need to stay on a stream to watch our Kickstarter succeed or fail, as that will do whatever it does. Okay? So we will continue partaking in our go juice, and we will continue taking that of which life gives us. It's either going to give us successes or it's going to give us failures. And believe you me, whenever we get the failure, we will contend, we will pivot, we will attempt to persevere over the top of it, okay? And use that of which as a new seat upon which we will sit our arse and commence with continuing with the lives of life. Been adding half and half to the coffee. Tastes great. Excellent. Well, JC, tips and tricks like that can definitely go far for those with which choose them too. And yes, half and half we have used once or twice, mainly out of, I guess, it being there and being one of the only options. And we don't have anything negative to say about it. So excellent point. Thank you. Oh, wow, I see we're out of coffee. Well, geez, where did the time go? Well, believe you me, we will see. Never use Joey's milk. Blah! If it's from Joey, it's a no-y. Which reminds me, just like any other endeavor, okay, nothing's guaranteed. We still have Asmongold's shirt for sale for $13,000. Okay? Our buddy put it up on eBay. You got to go find it yourself. $13,000. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. Okay? But it's funny. So, no, it's not. Well, it kind of is. Excellent. Thank you, Love Hearts. Yes, we love the Love Hearts because we know they love us. And with all these other late night shows getting canceled, stuff like that, really, people are looking for, good shows. Ourselves included. So if you find any of those, let us know where they are. Anyhow, that's going to do it for us. We will go contend with stuff. We might pop back on later, as it is the last day of the Kickstarter after all. The last day to get your custom 3D printed button and signed copy of Delectable, which is done. A guaranteed thing. You might be saying, no, we don't want it still. No, okay, fair enough. We're just going to keep posting it again. The work is done. The work is done. So, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. By all means, get out of here now before us because, as we said before, we don't want your subscription. We want your money. Go to Kickstarter, downvote the shit out of this, and give us a buck. Get off our lawn!